All right, I've got something happened to me recently, and it was huge, huge learning moment for me, and it's all about leadership. I'll share it with you real quick. My son, Axel, you know, if you follow my blogs at all, you know that he wants to play in the NFL, right? And he wants to be a quarterback. So you know how I surround him with the coaches, with the best coaches in the world, so that he can fulfill on his birthright and have his dreams. So Axel has the same quarterback coaches. There's 3 of them. He has the same quarterback coaches as Tom Brady, as Matt Ryan, as 13 of the starting NFL quarterbacks. And Axel's the youngest player that they've ever had at the age of 10. He works with these coaches, right? So one day he's working with them, and they say to him, "Hey, Axel, Matt Ryan is going to be in town training with us. He trains alone. How would you like to come and train alongside Matt Ryan?" Well, Axel just lit up, right? And the reason he lit up was 6 weeks prior, he had just watched Matt Ryan quarterback the Atlanta Falcons all the way to the Super Bowl, and they suffered a heartbreaking loss to New England Patriots. So Axel and I say, "Wow, that would be so awesome. That'd be so cool. Great, let's do it." And so Matt Ryan came into town, and we went out to train with him. And at first, we just watched him. And I got to tell you, this guy 6 weeks earlier had just lost the Super Bowl, so got his team all the way to the Super Bowl. And now he's out working on his quarterback mechanics, and he's working his butt off at basic fundamentals, things that you would think a Super Bowl quarterback would be beyond, but that's just not how it goes. Those guys are the ones who really go back to the basics and work on the mechanics of a certain thing, and they get better and better and better. So Axel and I are watching Matt Ryan from a distance, and Axel's following everything that Matt Ryan's doing. Footwork, arm motions, head moving, where his eyes are looking, opening his hips, closing his shoulders. Axel's watching everything he's doing, and he's mimicking him. He's doing the exact exercises that Matt Ryan's going through. And then when Matt Ryan is done, then Axel's going to go through his training with the coaches. So Axel and I didn't want to seem like we were fanboys. We didn't want to feel like, "Oh, let's get a picture of Matt Ryan." And we didn't want to be like that. We wanted to be peers. We wanted to be players. We didn't want to be fans. We wanted to be players. And so that's how we took this on. So we didn't go up to Matt Ryan and say, "Hey, Matt, I'm a big fan. Congratulations on the Super Bowl." We didn't say any of that. But this is where the leadership thing came in. After Matt Ryan got finished, after 2 hours of training, and he had these receivers out there that he was throwing to, he went up to each coach and each receiver, which there's about 6 or 8 guys out there, and he thanked them all. After 2 hours of him doing the work, he thanked them for the work and went around shaking everybody's hands, and then he starts coming over to where Axel and I are standing on the sideline. Comes all the way over, and he says, "Hey, I was watching you over here on this sideline, and I'm really impressed with the way you move and your footwork and stuff." And Axel just can't even talk. He just gets like this big smile on his face. And just so you know, Matt Ryan's about 6'6". He's a big dude and a hard-working dude. And he says to Axel, I say to Matt Ryan, I say, "Matt, thank you so much for letting us watch you train. It meant a lot to Axel." And Matt Ryan says, "Well, I like to see him move. I like to see him train. I was watching him, and I like to watch more of him." And then Matt Ryan did this. Instead of us asking for a picture or asking for an autograph, this is what Matt Ryan said, and this is what I call true leadership. Matt Ryan said, "Hey, does anybody have a camera around here?" And you could just see Axel's face started to light up. Instead of us asking for a picture, he asked if anyone had a camera. And he goes, "Because I would like a picture with this kid." And Axel grew about 3 feet that day, and I got a picture. I go, "Well, I've got a phone in my pocket, Matt Ryan." And so I took a picture of he and Axel, and he made it all about Axel. He made it be how great Axel is, how what an athlete he is, what a quarterback he is, how he would like to have a quarterback with, have a picture with Axel instead of trying to be cool. Lesser quarterbacks that are in the NFL could have put a towel over their head and like try to be cool and walk off the field so no one bugged them, right? But I watched this guy, and it was no accident that his team was just in the Super Bowl, and there's only one reason people get to the Super Bowl, it's the leadership of their quarterback. This guy shaking the hands of people who admire him and look up to him, shakes hands with the coaches, comes over to a 10-year-old, acknowledges the 10-year-old, and not only that, but he wants a picture with the 10-year-old. And as he walked away, after these 2 hours were over, as he walked away, the look on my son's face, I knew what it did for him. And I said to Axel, Axel, what did you just learn? And instead of Axel saying, I learned how to throw the ball better, I learned how to be a quarterback, he said, I learned how to lead. Right? I learned how to lead. That is how you lead. I think we've got this preconception of what we think leadership looks like, and we think it's somebody thundering away and telling you what to do. Sometimes that is leadership, but most of the time it's making everybody great. It's ultra aware of all that surrounds him, and he makes everyone acknowledged, and he makes everyone great. He also understands how people look up to him. That's a certain responsibility. I wanted Axel to learn that one day kids are going to look up to him, and he's got to take care of those kids because of the way they look at him. That is true leadership. So my question for you is this: how are you leading? Are you raising the standard everywhere you go? Every environment you enter, are you raising the standard and then acknowledging and taking care of everybody in the room or everybody on the field? That is your job, and that is a huge responsibility, a responsibility that most people don't want, including 98% of the quarterbacks in the NFL. They would rather not have that responsibility. They'd rather blame the coach, blame the weather. They'd make an excuse that the receiver dropped the ball, not this guy. There's no accidents. The guys who make it all the way and are the creme de la creme, they don't make any excuses. They take ultimate responsibility. They're ultra aware, and they take care of the whole world around them. I want you to start looking at your world like that, and I want to see where you're doing that. Where are you leading? There's no accidents in this. You've got to take it on. Take on that leadership, and then raise the standard in every room and every environment you enter. Make people play up to you and acknowledge them for it. Okay? Get out there and lead.